3,650 meters confirmed kill. The records for Marine Scout Sniper Sergeant Rachel "Ghost" Torres at Camp Lejeune seemed physically impossible, until Colonel Williams learned the real story. Welcome to Hidden Story, where we uncover the extraordinary lives hiding in plain sight. Before we dive into this powerful story of the Marine sniper whose impossible shot changed military history, tell us in the comments where you're watching from, because we read and respond to every single one. And if you believe stories like these deserve to be remembered, hit that subscribe button and help us ensure they're never forgotten. Colonel James Williams barely glanced at the Marine, cleaning the Barrett .50 in the corner of the armory at Camp Lejeune. Just another routine maintenance task performed by another dedicated soldier. But when he noticed the small badge on her uniform and read 3,650 meter confirmed kill, he stopped dead in his tracks. Marine, that's impossible. No one has made a shot at that distance. The armory at Marine Corps Base Camp Lejeune was always busy during the afternoon maintenance period, with dozens of Marines cleaning, inspecting, and preparing their weapons for the next day's operations. Colonel Williams had been conducting his weekly inspection tour, walking through the facility with his usual practiced eye, noting the condition of equipment and the discipline of the Marines under his command. In the far corner of the armory, nearly hidden behind a row of weapon racks, sat a lone figure methodically disassembling a Barrett M82A 1.50 caliber sniper rifle. The Marine worked with the kind of precision that spoke of years of experience, each component carefully cleaned and inspected before being set aside in perfect order. Staff Sergeant Rachel "Ghost" Torres had been performing this same ritual every day for the past 6 months since arriving at Camp Lejeune. The Barrett .50 was her weapon, her responsibility, and in many ways her closest companion during a military career that had taken her to some of the most dangerous places on Earth. Rachel's approach to weapon maintenance bordered on obsessive. Every component of the Barrett was disassembled, cleaned with surgical precision, inspected for wear or damage, and reassembled with the kind of attention to detail that most Marines reserved for pre-deployment inspections. The process took her nearly 3 hours each day, but Rachel considered it time well spent. The Barrett M82A1 was more than just a rifle. It was a precision instrument capable of engaging targets at distances that challenged the laws of physics. Weighing nearly 30 pounds and firing .50 caliber ammunition, it was designed for the kind of long-range precision shooting that required not just marksmanship skills, but an understanding of ballistics, meteorology, and physics that went far beyond basic military training. Rachel had been assigned to Camp Lejeune as part of a specialized Marine Scout sniper team, supporting counterterrorism operations throughout multiple theaters. Her official role was overwatch and precision engagement, providing long-range fire support for special operations missions that required eliminating high-value targets at extreme distances. But Rachel's reputation extended far beyond her current assignment. In military circles where such things mattered, her name was spoken with the kind of reverence reserved for legends. Not because of her personality or leadership, Rachel was quiet, almost invisible in most social settings, but because of what she could do with a rifle at distances that most people couldn't even see clearly. Colonel Williams had been walking through the armory with his aide, Major Henderson, discussing routine administrative matters when something caught his peripheral vision. The Marine in the corner was working with the kind of methodical precision that indicated serious professional competence. But what drew his attention was the collection of small badges and qualification pins on her uniform. Most Marines wore the standard array of military decorations, unit patches, rank insignia, basic qualification badges that indicated their military occupational specialty. But Rachel's uniform carried additional markings that Colonel Williams found intriguing. There were qualification badges he didn't recognize, unit patches from organizations he'd heard of but never worked with, and several small pins that indicated specialized training he couldn't immediately identify. "Carry on, Marine," Colonel Williams said as he approached Rachel's position, using the standard phrase that indicated his inspection was routine and didn't require her to stop working. Rachel looked up briefly, acknowledged the colonel with appropriate military courtesy, and returned to her work. Her response was professional but minimal, exactly what would be expected from a Marine focused on completing an important task. Colonel Williams was about to continue his tour when his eye caught one particular badge on Rachel's uniform. It was small, unremarkable to casual observation, but the inscription made him stop mid-step and read it again to make sure he understood what he was seeing. 3,650-meter confirmed kill. The numbers didn't make sense. Williams had been in the Marine Corps for over 22 years, had worked with some of the most elite units in the American military, and had never encountered anyone who claimed to have made a confirmed kill at that distance. The longest confirmed sniper shot in military history, as far as he knew, was significantly shorter than 3,650 meters. Marine, that's impossible. No one has made a shot at that distance. Rachel looked up from her work, her expression showing mild surprise at the colonel's comment. She followed his gaze to the badge he was reading and understood what had captured his attention. Sir, the shot was confirmed by multiple observers and recorded by Mission Command. All documentation is classified, but the engagement did occur as indicated. Colonel Williams stared at the young woman who had just matter-of-factly claimed to have made what would be the longest confirmed kill shot in military history. Rachel appeared to be in her late 20s with the kind of calm demeanor that suggested someone comfortable with high-stress situations, but there was nothing about her appearance that indicated superhuman capabilities. Marine, I want to see your service record, and I want to understand how someone makes a 3,650-meter shot when most snipers consider 1,500 meters an extreme engagement. Sir, my complete service record is classified above my clearance level to discuss, but I can provide general information about my training and qualifications if that would be helpful. Major Henderson, who had been listening to the conversation with growing amazement, stepped forward with his tablet. Colonel, I can pull up her basic service information if you'd like to review it. Do it. Henderson accessed the personnel database and began reading Rachel's basic military information. What he found was a collection of specialized schools, advanced training programs, and unit assignments that painted a picture of someone whose military career had been anything but routine. Sir, Staff Sergeant Torres graduated from Marine Scout Sniper School with the highest marksmanship scores in her class. She's completed advanced courses in long-range precision shooting, ballistic computation, and specialized reconnaissance. Her unit assignments include deployments with Marine Special Operations Command, classified operations with organizations that don't appear in the standard database. Colonel Williams absorbed this information while studying Rachel, who had continued working on her Barrett throughout the conversation. Her demeanor remained calm and professional, but he was beginning to understand that he was looking at someone whose capabilities extended far beyond the average Marine. Torres, explain to me how someone makes a 3,650-meter shot. What are the technical requirements for that kind of precision shooting? Rachel set down the bolt carrier group she'd been cleaning and looked directly at Colonel Williams. Her response demonstrated the kind of technical knowledge that indicated serious expertise rather than casual familiarity with long-range shooting. Sir, a 3,650-meter engagement requires understanding multiple variables that affect bullet trajectory over extended distances. Environmental factors include wind speed and direction at multiple altitudes, air density variations, temperature gradients, and barometric pressure changes. Ballistic considerations include bullet drop compensation, spin drift effects, and the Coriolis effect caused by Earth's rotation. She paused, gauging whether the colonel wanted more technical detail, then continued. The shot also requires a complete understanding of the target's movement patterns, precise range estimation using multiple measurement techniques, and the ability to maintain steady positioning for extended periods while waiting for optimal environmental conditions. Colonel Williams realized he was listening to someone who understood long-range shooting at a level that exceeded most instructors he'd encountered. But understanding the theory was different from executing a shot that would establish a world record. Torres, tell me about the 3,650-meter engagement. What were the circumstances, and how did you manage to make that shot? Rachel's expression became more guarded, and she glanced at Major Henderson before responding. Sir, the engagement occurred during a classified operation. I can provide general information about the technical aspects, but specific details about the mission, target, and location are above my clearance level to discuss without proper authorization. Henderson checked his tablet and confirmed Rachel's statement. Colonel, her deployment records show multiple classified operations, and her complete file requires special access that we don't have available here. But Colonel Williams wasn't satisfied with bureaucratic limitations. He'd encountered something that challenged his understanding of what was possible in modern warfare, and he intended to get answers. Torres, I'm authorizing you to discuss the technical aspects of that engagement. I want to understand how Marine Corps capabilities have advanced to the point where 3,650-meter shots are possible. Rachel considered the colonel's request carefully before responding. Military protocol required her to protect classified information, but discussing technical capabilities might be permissible if it served legitimate military purposes. Sir, the engagement occurred in mountainous terrain that provided the elevation differential necessary for extreme long-range shooting. The target was stationary for an extended period, allowing time for environmental analysis and ballistic computation. Weather conditions were optimal, with minimal wind variation and excellent visibility. But how do you even see a target at 3,650 meters? That's over 2 miles away. Sir, the Barrett M82A1 can be equipped with advanced optics that provide sufficient magnification for target identification at extreme ranges. Combined with laser range-finding equipment and ballistic computers, it's possible to engage targets at distances that exceed normal visual capabilities. Colonel Williams was beginning to appreciate the complexity of what Rachel had accomplished. Modern technology had clearly advanced sniper capabilities beyond what he understood, but the human element, the skill required to integrate all these systems into a successful shot, was still extraordinary. Torres, how long did it take you to prepare for that shot? Sir, the actual engagement required approximately 6 hours of preparation. This included range estimation using multiple methods, environmental monitoring, ballistic computation, and waiting for optimal conditions. The shot itself was the culmination of extensive planning rather than a spontaneous engagement. 6 hours. You maintained position for 6 hours to make one shot. Yes, sir. Extreme long-range precision shooting requires patience and careful timing. Rushing the shot would have reduced the probability of success to unacceptable levels. Major Henderson had been taking notes throughout the conversation, and he looked up with an expression of amazement. Colonel, what she's describing represents capabilities that exceed anything I've encountered in conventional military training. Colonel Williams nodded, understanding that he was learning about military capabilities that existed at classification levels he hadn't previously accessed, but his curiosity was far from satisfied. Torres, I want to see a demonstration. Can you show me what kind of precision shooting is possible with your equipment and training? Rachel hesitated before responding. Demonstration shoots required extensive coordination and safety protocols, and she wasn't sure whether such a request could be approved through normal channels. Sir, a demonstration would require appropriate range facilities, safety coordination, and authorization from my chain of command. The distances involved present logistical challenges that would need careful planning. I'll handle the authorization. I want to understand what Marine Corps' sniper capabilities look like when properly employed. Colonel Williams turned to Major Henderson with the kind of expression that indicated immediate action was required. Henderson, I want you to coordinate with range control and set up a demonstration shoot. Whatever Staff Sergeant Torres needs in terms of range distance, target systems, and safety protocols, make it happen. Sir, the longest range we have available here is 1,000 meters. If she needs 3,650 meters for a proper demonstration, we'll have to use off-base facilities or coordinate with other installations. Then coordinate with other installations. I want to see what's possible." Rachel had been listening to this exchange with growing concern. Demonstration shoots were serious undertakings that required extensive preparation and carried significant responsibility if anything went wrong. "Sir, if you're determined to observe a long-range precision demonstration, I would recommend starting with shorter distances to establish baseline capabilities before attempting extreme range engagements. What distance would you recommend for an initial demonstration?" "Sir, 1,000 meters would allow demonstration of precision shooting capabilities while remaining within the safety and logistical parameters of your current facilities." Colonel Williams agreed to start with a 1,000-meter demonstration, understanding that even this distance would far exceed anything he had personally observed. 3 days later, the demonstration took place at Camp Lejeune's extended range facility. Colonel Williams arrived with several members of his staff, all eager to observe precision shooting that would help them understand the capabilities that Rachel represented. Rachel had spent the morning preparing her equipment, including her Barrett M82A1, advanced optical systems, environmental monitoring devices, and ballistic computation equipment. The setup process took nearly 2 hours, reflecting the complex preparation required for precision long-range shooting. "Colonel, the target is positioned at exactly 1,000 meters. Weather conditions are optimal with minimal wind and excellent visibility. I'm ready to demonstrate precision engagement capabilities," Colonel Williams observed through binoculars as Rachel settled into her shooting position. Her preparation was methodical and deliberate, involving multiple measurements and calculations before she even looked through her rifle scope. "Torres, walk me through what you're doing." "Sir, I'm measuring wind speed and direction at multiple points between my position and the target. Air density and temperature variations affect bullet trajectory, so I need current environmental data for ballistic computation." Rachel consulted a small electronic device that provided detailed ballistic calculations based on the environmental data she had gathered. The process took several minutes, demonstrating the level of preparation required for extreme precision shooting. "Sir, ballistic solution has been computed. I'm ready to engage." Rachel settled behind her Barrett, adjusted her scope settings, and began the final phase of her shooting sequence. Colonel Williams watched through binoculars as she controlled her breathing and prepared to fire. The Barrett's report was deafening, even with hearing protection. The .50 caliber round produced a muzzle blast that could be felt as well as heard, and the rifle's recoil was substantial despite its effective muzzle brake system. "Target hit dead center," reported the range safety officer who was observing the target through a spotting scope. Colonel Williams studied the target through his binoculars, confirming that Rachel had placed her shot within inches of the target center at a distance of 1,000 meters. The precision was remarkable, but he understood that this demonstration was only a fraction of her claimed capabilities. "Torres, that was impressive, but you're telling me you can make that same shot at nearly 4 times this distance?" "Sir, longer distances present additional challenges, but the basic principles remain the same. The primary differences are increased environmental sensitivity and extended flight time that requires more sophisticated ballistic computation." Colonel Williams was beginning to understand that Rachel's 3,650-meter shot represented the application of advanced technology combined with exceptional human skill. The demonstration had shown him that precision shooting capabilities extended far beyond what he had previously imagined. "Torres, I want to see your complete service record. All of it, including the classified materials." "Sir, accessing my complete records would require authorization at levels above my clearance to discuss. Then I'll get that authorization." Colonel Williams spent the following week working through the bureaucratic process required to access Rachel's complete military records. What he discovered was a career that read like a collection of military legends rather than the service record of a single Marine. Rachel had been recruited for specialized training while still in recruit training, based on marksmanship scores that exceeded anything her instructors had previously encountered. Her subsequent military education included schools and programs that most Marines never knew existed. training her in capabilities that pushed the boundaries of what human beings could accomplish with precision weapons. Her deployment history included operations in every major conflict zone where American forces had been engaged over the past 4 years. More significantly, her missions had consistently involved the kind of high-stakes precision shooting that could determine the success or failure of entire operations. The 3,650-meter shot that had caught Colonel Williams's attention had occurred during a hostage rescue operation, where Rachel's precision shooting had eliminated a threat that conventional forces couldn't address. The target had been holding hostages in a location that made traditional assault impossible, and Rachel's extreme long-range capability had provided the only tactical solution. But that shot was just one entry in a service record that documented dozens of similar engagements. Rachel had consistently been assigned to missions where her unique capabilities provided solutions that no other Marine could deliver. "Williams, what you've stumbled onto is one of our most valuable strategic assets," explained General Patricia Stone during a classified briefing about Rachel's service record. "Staff Sergeant Torres represents capabilities that we don't advertise because they provide significant tactical advantages when properly employed." "General, why isn't this Marine being utilized at higher levels? Her capabilities seem to exceed anything we're currently employing in standard operations." "She is being utilized appropriately. Rachel's assignments are coordinated at levels that you don't normally access because her missions serve strategic rather than tactical purposes." Colonel Williams began to understand that Rachel's quiet presence at Camp Lejeune wasn't a waste of exceptional talent. It was part of a larger operational picture that he hadn't previously been aware of. "Sir, what kind of missions require 3,650-meter shooting capabilities?" "The kind of missions where failure isn't an option and conventional approaches won't work. Rachel provides capabilities that can resolve situations that would otherwise require much larger commitments of personnel and resources." Over the following months, Colonel Williams developed a new appreciation for the kinds of specialized capabilities that existed within the military structure. Rachel continued her routine maintenance of the Barrett M82A1, but Williams now understood that her quiet preparation was part of maintaining readiness for missions that could have strategic implications. 8 months later, Rachel was deployed on a classified mission that required precisely the kind of extreme, long-range precision shooting that had first captured Colonel Williams's attention. The mission succeeded because of capabilities that existed at the intersection of advanced technology and exceptional human skill. Today, Rachel continues to serve in roles that utilize her unique capabilities, providing solutions to tactical challenges that push the boundaries of what most people believe is possible. Her service record remains largely classified, but her impact on military operations extends far beyond what any single Marine would normally be expected to accomplish. Colonel Williams learned that exceptional capabilities often exist in unexpected places, maintained by people who understand that quiet competence matters more than public recognition. Sometimes the most remarkable Marines are the ones who clean their weapons methodically in the corner of the armory, preparing for missions that most people will never know occurred. If this story moved you, please hit that subscribe button and share it with others. Help us ensure these tales of quiet courage and hidden heroism reach the people who need to hear them. Thank you for watching. We'll see you in the next story, where another hero waits to be recognized.